Is the future fated as something we can determine or not determine?
That's a fantastic question. Is the future already fated, or do we create our lives? I have actually pondered this question, prayed about it, and searched out this answer almost my entire life. My mom used to always say that everything's fate and you can't control fate and you just have to accept it. And I always felt like there was something wrong with that. Like it was a cop out. Like that was her way of not having to take responsibility for how much she screwed up her life and how she wasn't doing things that she knew she should. Well, it's just my fate. I don't have to be responsible. And to me, it just felt pathetic. But that didn't tell the whole story. It's not enough to say that it's all just creation either. And then there's some people who think it's just randomness, that it's not fate or created, that there's nothing. Well, who's right? I'm going to share with you my philosophy, and I'm going to begin with telling you that I don't believe in telling people what to think or believe. I believe in sharing openly and letting everyone decide for themselves. And in fact, I think it's everyone's responsibility to decide for themselves and not just blindly follow anybody. Here is what I've learned through decades of researching this question. Some things are fated. Some things are chosen before birth. Why is that? Because before you're born, you get to pick your parents. You get to pick your soul mission for living. Everyone has a soul purpose, or I don't mean only, but I mean your soul purpose for living. You as a soul have a reason for being alive and existing. And you're not going to die until you've fulfilled your mission. Literally, that's how it is. People who die and come back, they often say the same thing. Well, my mission isn't completed. So everyone has a mission and they pick it before birth. Were those the only things you pick before you're born? No. You can also pick other things, but it's all optional. So for example, let's say that you decide you're going to meet someone during this lifetime and you're going to marry them. And when you meet them, you're going to recognize them and you're going to know that they're the one for you. Right? The one. Everyone wants to know if there's such a thing. I have a whole course on that called How to Manifest Your Soulmate. And basically the answer is, if you, before you're born, predetermine and agree with another soul that you're going to be together, then you have a fated the one. Most people don't do that. So most people don't have a fated, destined soulmate. They simply create a soulmate during their lifetime. But some people do have a fated one. I've actually met quite a few people that met their forever person and knew the moment they met them that they were the one. I have some crazy stories about it that have proven without a shadow of a doubt that fated love relationships do exist. But they're pretty rare when you think about it. Most people don't have that. And it's a tragedy for someone who has not a fated soulmate, something that was predestined, who then looks and looks and looks and waits and waits and waits for that, when this whole time they could have been getting down and having fun. They could have created consciously what they want. It's not just soulmates that we can predetermine. We can also predetermine things like talents, skills, abilities, tragedies, challenges, belief patterns we want to overcome. There's lots of things that you can put into your destiny before you were born. You can write the whole script. Most people don't put a lot of stuff into their destiny on purpose so that they can be free to create and experience what they're creating. They don't want to put so much stuff into place that it locks the path up too much. But there are some things that are predestined. Now, I know that leads to another question, which is how do you know which things are predestined, and on and on and on. The only way to know is to tap into that spiritual level and get those answers that way. And that's a whole other class and that could take quite a bit of training to teach you how to do that. And yeah, I can teach you how to do that. But like I said, that's a pretty advanced ability. And you've got to go through a lot of training to get there. If you've already been through becoming your authentic self, that was one of my courses, you're probably thinking, did I learn it in that course? You probably learn the basics of how to do that. And then we could take it to the next level if we wanted to. If you haven't been through that course, it's not worth trying to even begin to teach it now. It's a journey of layers and many skills you got to develop before you get there. Okay. Now, on the other side, is it all just random or is it being created? I believe that we manifest, we create on purpose, and mostly we create unconsciously. And it's the unconscious creation that makes us feel like it's random, that things are happening to us. And here's how I know that. Have you ever dreamed about, fantasized about, daydreamed about, or visualized a goal, or set an intention, or even just said one time, I sure would like XYZ to show up, and then boom, it shows up. Maybe not the next day, but sometime in the future, exactly as you asked for it. Has that ever happened to you? Now, when I ask live audiences this, and I've spoken to thousands and thousands of people in person, when I ask this question, almost everyone raises their hand. Yeah, me. That's happened to me at least once. Right now, you're in my living room. I'm literally surrounded by things that I consciously asked for. This painting, I wanted artwork by this amazing guy, mandalas.com. His name's Paul. This coffee table, $3,500 coffee table, I saw it in a furniture store and I said, I want that coffee table. And then later on, it just showed up for me. I'm literally surrounded by things that I consciously asked for. Because conscious manifestation isn't just something that you can do on accident, you can do it on purpose. Everyone has had the experience. And if you've never had the experience, God, how amazing will it be for you to have your first experience of visualizing something, say for 5 minutes a day, and then actually having it show up. I did that. I visualized having a convertible Mercedes when it was a while ago, almost 20 years ago, when I was a little bit younger. And every day I visualized it. I even went and test drove one, and I didn't get one right away. But that's what I drive now. Now, why did it take so long, for me to get this brand new Mercedes convertible that I wanted a while ago, even though I visualized it? I mean, isn't it true that if you visualize something that you want every day for 5 minutes, you'll get it? Of course it's true. But how long it takes for it to show up depends on something very important, if you're willing to receive it. And that's why for a lot of people, they never get the things they visualize, because part of them doesn't want it, an unconscious part of them. And that's why people get frustrated and they say the law of attraction is bogus. And the law of attraction is not an idea. It's like gravity. If you throw something up in the air, it's going to fall down, because gravity is just how the world is designed. The law of attraction is just how the world is designed. It's just that within your design, you usually are in conflict. Part of you says, this is what I want. And another part of you says, no way! And so what is the universe supposed to send you? Well, you're not going to get what you asked for, that's why. Because you've got this other part of you that says, no, I don't want that. And so you don't get it. It doesn't show up. The reality is you can consciously manifest anything you want if you can get every cell in your body to align to believing in having it. That's how it works. Most of what you create happens unconsciously. It's old negative patterns from the past repeating themselves, and you're attracting the same crappy stuff over and over again that you don't want. And then you try to overcome it. Now, there's going to be some things that you can manifest easily and some things that you can't because you're blocked. Oh boy. So what's the secret? The secret is to clear out the stuff that's in the unconscious mind that's in conflict with what you really want, and you can manifest all the things that you really want. That's how myself and many of my students can take every area of their life being 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, and turn them all into 10, every area of life. Because whether it's your health, your love life, your finances, your enjoyment of your career, your family, your experience of fun and play in life, whatever area of life you're looking at, the same problem exists. If your unconscious mind is in conflict with your heart and your soul and your conscious mind's desires, you're not going to manifest what you want. And that's where people get this idea that it's all random, because they don't see and understand how this is working. Now, if you're still watching at this point, you probably don't think I'm crazy. You probably think this guy is speaking my language, right? And then you're probably thinking, well, how do I get the unconscious mind aligned with the conscious mind so I don't have randomly bad things showing up and start attracting what I want on purpose more consistently and bigger things? Like one of my students, he said, Arnoux, what's the difference between manifesting a surround sound stereo system, which I manifested literally within seconds, that was one of the stories I told about, and $1 million? And so the difference is that $1 million is going to trigger a lot more unconscious blockages. And therefore you have to clear a lot more layers of crap in order to manifest the $1 million. Jim Rohn said, manifesting $1 million or making $1 million is not about having $1 million. It's about becoming the person you have to become who can make $1 million. It's the personal growth that you get out of becoming someone who can do that is actually the real value that you get out of making $1 million, not actually having the $1 million. Isn't that amazing? So we need to go into the unconscious mind and remove all the blockages to whatever goal you have in order to manifest it. Then you'll see that you are creating reality on purpose. And then it'll intertwine naturally with the things that are fated, and you don't need to worry about them because they're going to show up anyway. They're fated. So don't worry about it. What are you creating consciously? That's what's within your power to deal with right now. So the 7 steps to reprogramming yourself, if you haven't already taken it and mastered it, would be the first step in learning how to reprogram the unconscious mind and remove the blockages to achieving your goals. It's not going to be the only tool that you need. It's going to be the most important one. Then you're going to need the 5-step emotional eraser. Then you can start clearing out the unconscious patterns, interfering with your ability to manifest what you want in life. So the answer is, it's a combination of both. It's very individual. And either way, you need to focus on what you want to create consciously to have the life that you've always dreamed of. If you want to learn more about the 7 steps, and if you haven't taken that program already, just click on the link below. I got lots of free information, lots of free training for you. Subscribe to my channel. My name's Arnoux Goran. I look forward to seeing your comments. Thank you.